Okay,
Right.
I hope you absolutely kick the shit out of somebody wearing that shirt.
Hey, listen, one of these days might be sooner than tomorrow. I promise.
You should welcome everybody. I did the last one.
You know I can't say athletic aesthetic fast. It's so hard, bro. I don't care. It's hard as hell.
All right, try it.
But now I'm
You
nervous.
just did it, though.
I know, but now I'm nervous. Okay.
You got this.
Are we ready, guys?
Do we need to cheer? Trey.
No,
Trey.
See now,
Trey.
or I'm not gonna do
Trey.
it. Or I'm not gonna.
Trey.
Do it. You're
Trey.
gonna do it if you keep
Trey.
this up. If
Trey.
you keep this up,
Trey.
it's not gonna happen. Just letting you know that.
What's up, guys? Welcome. This is the
Athletic Aesthetic Podcast.
Let's go, baby. We're in here today.
Good job.
And we have another
Are you
unique.
You're not gonna acknowledge I just did how good I just did?
Yeah, I just cheered for you. What are you talking about?
Bro, I said it the right way.
Yeah, I'm proud of you, man. I need we joke about this on the show in the past. I need you to be like sending me some reps. Like I need you just in the mirror every day. Athletic aesthetic. Athletic aesthetic. I
Try
need
to
like
say it 3
10
times
sets
fast.
of 10
I want
every
you to do
single
it right
day.
now, as fast as you can.
How many times?
3 times.
Athletic aesthetic, athletic aesthetic, athletic aesthetic.
There's no way you just did that. Try it.
I'm not trying
All
that.
right, so let's set up. Yeah, you throw it to them like that. So we have some guests in the studio today. Today is a unique episode, and there's been a lot of conversations leading up to this
sure.
recording about how we're going to work together and our partnership and what that looks like. But we're excited to welcome them in today.
For sure.
And so, do you want to introduce our guests?
For sure. So today we have our friends at Brandon, great friends by the way.
Brandon and Butler.
And Butler. Let's be correct. My fault. Brandon and Butler. We have our friend Jasa, and we also have my friend Take a Chance, Lance, over here today. How you guys doing?
Good. Thanks for having us, guys.
No
Super
problem.
excited.
No problem.
Yeah, so we were, originally Trey reached out to me and he was like, hey, there's this store in Butler, PA. They do vintage and sneakers and all kinds of different stuff. And he's like, we should pop out and like just meet them. And I think I was at a shoot that day.
You were?
I was with Swing. We were capturing for a client, and I was running incredibly late because the shoot got pushed back and all these things. So I'm feeling terrible. I pull up to this place. I'm not sure what to expect, to be honest with you. But I walk in, and this space is unbelievable. Like
It's beautiful.
the building itself, the way that it's set up, it's gorgeous. You guys have built something that's truly amazing.
I
And so
agree.
when we got to go there, be a part of that, and meet you guys, it was like instant. Like, okay, we got to figure out, how to be a part of what they're building here. And you guys were like, we love what you're building here on the pod. So it just seemed like a
Great fit.
good fit. So we're going to talk today. We're going to learn a little bit about you guys and, how you got to where you're at, but also, maybe brainstorm some possible collaborations in the near future here on here. So you guys will get to watch that unfold live. But let's start with this. So Lance, you are the founder and the owner of Brandon and Butler. So let's rewind, start with your story. Where do you come from? Where'd you grow up? Kind of like, childhood did you have? Did you play sports? When did you get into fashion? Let's shape
That's a
young
large
Lance.
question.
How far do we want to go? I'll kind of speed through it, I guess. I've gone a decent amount of life experience, I guess, now. I'm probably older in this crowd. 34 now, so.
I'm 32, bro, so
Oh,
I
okay.
got you, man.
Y'all was in
too
high
bad.
school together.
Yeah.
Pretty
Old
much,
ass
yeah.
mom.
Chill out.
I'm just playing.
So grew up in Butler throughout my whole high school career. Played a little bit of sports, basketball mainly, a little bit of midget football. But
You
yeah,
shoot?
I can shoot. Yeah, I don't look it. I fool people.
He's that white boy that
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No one knows it. Yeah.
Nah, the hairstyle screams you know how to hoop.
He's a shooter.
Yeah. Like,
Shooter.
you can't- Yeah.
Hand up.
So high school wasn't great at school. Definitely, wasn't my path going to school long term.
Do you like weren't a good student?
What's that?
Were you a terrible student?
I was, just not. I just didn't go to school. I,
Requirement number one to be a good student.
Go to school. Go to school, kids.
yeah. So I was going nowhere fast. I don't think I would have wound up in prison or not here still if I didn't do what I did. So I decided to join the Marine Corps. Got shipped off to boot camp. I hated it every second I was in. Like day one of boot camp, I was like, this shit ain't for me. Like, there's no way I can do this.
Really?
And
Well-
but I would do it 1,000 times over. Is the thing is like I would do it again and again every life, just because of how it shapes you, the people you meet, like the family that you get out of it. Like, yeah, I would do it. I would do it all the time.
Yeah. What was your influence to go that route? Other than, a lot of people aren't good at school, but usually someone is like, "Hey, this is an option for you." Did you have a military family that you come from, or like what?
So I was the first person in either side of my family that went to the military since both of my grandfathers. Only cousin on either side that ever went. I had my best friend growing up. His dad was a Marine, kind of like a second dad to me, and yeah, he was kind of the influence on why I chose the Marine Corps over any other branch. And like, if I do something, like, nothing against anybody that was in the Army or the Air Force, like, if I do something, I'm not going to half-ass it. And that's just kind of how I see. I'm gonna piss a lot of people off, I think, now. Like, the Marines are just, we are who we are. We have the reputation for who we are. So I just was like, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go all out.
Yeah, I can attest to that. Like, if he has an idea, it's all in or it's nothing. Like,
Yeah.
Makes
we don't
sense.
do anything unless we're all in.
I like that.
We
I
love
like that.
So let's shift a little bit over here. So Jasa, when you came on board, because you said that was right before we reached out, or you reached
Yeah.
out to us.
I haven't been with the company long, but honestly, I can say it's literally been the best job I've ever had. Shout out to Lance. So I started, March 20th. I'm now store manager, reaching out, doing
Congratulations.
content.
Congrats.
Thank you. Thanks. Doing content, trying to get us to grow here, connecting with you guys. But, like, honestly, it's been life-changing. I think everything you see, especially, I knew vintage, but I
Yeah.
didn't know vintage until Lance. I went to the warehouse. I mean, hours and hours of just going through clothes and learning. He's been a great teacher, so yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, great.
So let's go back a little bit too. So before you guys meet, what's your life like? What kind of work have you done prior to this? And how did you get to this point?
Yeah, so I guess I can say that I was not a school person either, but I went to Robert Morris University for sport management and business, so I've always had a business background. I worked for the Detroit Pistons for a while in sales, moved up to
Okay.
Detroit, loved doing that. Had a side job too with the Cleveland Cavaliers for a little bit. School just didn't work out for me. Some life stuff happened, didn't get to finish, and kind of just been finding my path. And kind of just like sat down and like prayed to get me on a good path and where I can go.
Right.
And Brandon popped up, and here I've been. Like, I've honestly been so happy with it.
So how did you find Brandon, or did you find her? How did you guys meet?
I think you found.
Yeah, so
found us.
I was doing freelance content creations, like fashion brands, things like that on social media. And I was following them for a while, and I kind of was just like scrolling, and I was like, all right, this place, has the vibes. Like, it looks like I would be happy here. That's what I love to do. I've worked retail since I was 16 in sales, like I said. So I shot him a DM, told me to apply, and literally a day later, one of our other store managers, Kelsey, called me and was like, hey, you want to set up an interview? Like, we're looking for another one to bring in. Went in. Lance didn't even really interview me. We sat for like 2 hours.
2 hours and just talk.
Bull crap, like the whole time. So he was like, all right, I usually check with everyone else, but when are you going to start? And that's where we've been. Yeah.
So now, Lance, you go from the Marines, right? Let's go back over here. You go from the Marines. How the heck do we get to vintage?
Oh,
'Cause
I
you
couldn't
just-
even tell you.
Like-
That is crazy. That's I don't know who I was just talking to. I wasn't a fashion kid growing up. Wasn't into sneakers. Wasn't into any of this stuff. I was just into like reselling stuff. I started when I was in the Marine Corps. I'd go down to the thrift store on base, buy old uniforms, resell them on eBay. And then when I got out, was selling books on Amazon, and then started selling clothes. And me and my brother-in-law are the ones that started the company, and we were doing it out of a warehouse. And we would buy like pallets from like Walmart returns. Go to flea markets sell that kind of stuff, and we were there one day and we
You were a
found,
flea market guy?
yeah,
You ever go to Trader, what's the one, Trader
Rogers?
Jack's?
Trader,
Trader
yeah,
Jack's?
yeah,
Dude, I used to be a regular Trader Jack's.
yeah. We
out
set up a couple times there, Rogers, Ohio, and the one we were at, there was a box of Harley tees. That's why I think I have an obsession with Harley tees now.
Got it.
Box under a table, lady. I said $10 for the whole box.
Wow.
Sold a shirt within a day for like $400 or $500, and we're like, okay,
Yeah.
like there's something to this vintage thing. So then we started going to the bins down in Pittsburgh. Learned probably 90% of what I know from this guy named Mike, Vintage Mike. He's the GOAT of Pittsburgh. I think everybody knows who he is, and just kind of picked his brain and started learning as we went. And one day we were driving to the casino because we just did it all out of like a barn warehouse.
Mhm.
We're like, we should open a store. We're like, tossed the idea around, and we're like, finally, took the plunge. And it was going to start off as like what we found. We did storage units as well, so it was going to be like what we found in storage units, like a junk everything store. And then we kind of narrowed it down to just vintage.
Mm.
So that's kind of how and then you just kind of learn to have a passion for what you do. After you do it for so long, then you like just dive deep into it, and then it becomes your identity.
That's interesting. So I'm also curious in the process, and I know the rest of the world's probably curious in the process because I have this shirt on right now that I'm trying my hardest not to sweat in right now. Okay, so like, explain the process to us a little bit about how you guys go about finding different clothes and finding different things.
So we're unique in our industry, I would say. I don't know. I mean, there might be a store in like New York or California. I don't know of any other store in the Pittsburgh area or anywhere from here to New York that does it the way we do it. So a lot of stores, they'll have people bring them stuff in and they'll buy it. Or they'll go to the bins or they'll go to the rack stores and they'll find stuff themselves and buy it. What we do is, and this kind of was like a COVID thing, because it was a lot harder to source. We had opened 3-4 months before COVID hit, got shut down.
Wow.
So in December of 2020, we opened up the warehouse. So in the industry, it's called a rag house. So we buy clothing off of different charities, or right now we're working on doing more like direct to consumer. So we do home pickups. So we go to people's houses, and if they have clothing, any kind of textile, purses, shoes, we go and pick it up from their house to try to make it as convenient as possible for the consumer. And that's how we get our clothing. So we go through roughly anywhere from 30 to 80,000 pounds in a month. We sort through it all. We keep about 1% or 2%. So it's just all about volume. And that's how we get the stuff to the stores.
That's crazy. So you experience that where you buy this box of t-shirts for $10. You flip the first one. At that point, was it just eBay? Like, where were you operating?
Yeah,
at?
whenever
Like,
eBay was really popping off, that was our primary source of like selling. That's where everything went. We would sell anything from, vintage Harley tees to like mid-century modern furniture that we'd find in storage units. Yeah. That's like where we would sell it at.
Can you explain that rush of finding an item like at a flea market or at a Trader Jack's or like you know what I mean? Like when you just get to the table and you go, like you see the item and you don't want your eyes to light up too big because the person behind is watching you to see like what makes you stop. Because I used to sell at these things. So like what we used to do is I would like find people and be like, hey, I'll clean out your attic for $50. Mm-hmm. And like I will like organize it. I'll go through everything, and then you tell me what you want to keep and what you don't want to keep. But all the things they didn't want to keep, I would, get in, put it in the car. I had a Jeep Wrangler at the time, so I had to get real strategic of like how to pack this stuff in there. And then I would meet my buddy Jeff. So
I know Jeff.
My buddy Jeff, he's my roommate in college, and he was the kicker on the football team. I was his holder. Like we went back to high school playing together. So we just have like, this real brotherhood, and we would just set up shop at this place, put all our stuff out, and we'd sit there from, we'd get there like whatever time they open, 5 a.m. to be like one of the prime spots up front, and we'd sit there till 3 p.m. And you'd walk out of there with some days like $600-700 of just paying someone $50 to clean out there, because you need that one item, that makes it all worth it. So explain that feeling, like when you come up on that table and you see this box of like Harley shirts or whatever, you know you're gonna flip it. Like, what's that feel like?
There's like nothing, it's kind of like sports, you know, like it's like winning the Super Bowl, yeah, or gambling, because like you said, you got to keep your poker face. Like
Yeah.
I've never had, like, I think that's what it is. It's the thrill of the hunt that keeps you going, because
Yeah.
you can always find something new.
Have you guys ever went like to bins? Like
Yeah.
I've had people rip things out of my own arms because they know how valuable
See,
it
that's
is.
not good for me.
It's
I probably should
wild.
never
It's
go.
basically just full-time
Yeah.
Black Friday shopping. Like,
Oh,
it
yeah.
it just never shuts off. And like, there's TVs for $5.
Yeah,
Like,
it's over with. I'm not going.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've experienced that from the seller's standpoint. The best is like, and maybe you tell me if you have any funny stories, but like the best is like when someone tries to be real like casual about something, but they like walk past like this. They just keep looking at it, you know, and then they like walk back, and then you see them slowly like creeping from the distance up to your
Alright.
table,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then they come up and they're pretending to look at like all the other stuff, and they're like, then they'll ask about like this hat over here, like how much is this hat, and you're like, $5, and they're like, okay. And they're like eyeing up the item that they really want, but then they pick up another. It's like a game, dude. And then it's like,
It is.
I'm just waiting for you. But now I'm pricing you on these things based off of, I know that if I value that at $5, then I'm going to value that at $50. Like, so
Yeah.
you're like, it's chess.
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
It's
100%.
constant trying to like, and it's, I don't know, it's fun because they're playing the game too. So it'd be like manipulative if they are just like, if you're just in a business where you're just trying to upsell people to like make money off them, like you come to like this agreement at a flea market that like, all right, it's sports, it's competitive, it's like, and so then they get to that item and they're like, what do you think on this? And now your heart starts to race because you're like, I don't want to undersell it. I actually really want that piece. Do you experience that on a daily basis going through thousands of pounds of items of clothes? Or like, how do you come up with your pricing? Like, where do you because to just stick it out there, you might lose money on what it's worth.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
like how we get it. We can kind of we can go like with market, because we don't, like you said, we don't want to undercut ourselves. But I'm all about the fast nickel, not the slow dime.
Okay.
I'd rather sell something. I'd rather sell something for $50 today than sell it for $100 in 6 months, because what I can turn that $50 into in that 6 months is way more than that extra $50 I would have made on that shirt.
Yeah.
Hey, run that quote back for people who ain't here. This might be Jesse's favorite quote for now on.
What, the fast nickel, slow dime?
Yeah. Say that again. Say that
Yeah,
I
again.
live by that, dude. Like,
I feel like that's what you got to live by at this point.
yeah.
That's a smart move.
Well-
I ain't gonna lie, I never heard that before.
Oh yeah, that's kind of, we've found our sweet spot of like what we can charge in our area, for sweatshirts in particular. $30 is our sweet spot. 25 to 35. Now it might go down here in the city for 50, 60, 70, but we find it a different way. These guys that own stores down in the city, they're paying someone directly for it, so they have to charge a little bit more for it. So that's just kind of how we kind of our model of pricing.
Yeah. Now, when you move into this, right, and you're like, yeah, let's take this seriously, let's get a storefront. Is the one that you're in this first storefront, or where was that at, and what did it look
No,
like?
that one was, so the first storefront was just down, like just half a block down. Butler's not huge, so it was just half a block down. It was probably like a tenth of the size. I don't even know. Like, if we're talking about the whole
Yeah.
building, the current building we're in is 12,000 square feet,
It's massive.
three full floors. Don't even know what we're doing with the upstairs yet. It's just a pickleball court at this point.
Hey,
I
nice.
think we should probably just keep that.
Yeah, I'm with it. I'll come tomorrow if you need.
Yeah.
Someone
been
also
wanting to
brought
play.
a virtual golfing range up. And I
Oh,
was
yeah,
like, oh,
Johnny.
that'd be sick.
Yeah.
Johnny.
Yeah. So it's like the actual like retail space is probably like 5-6 times as big as our first store.
Oh, 100%.
Wow.
And the whole like vision I had when we bought that building and moved in there was that if someone walked in blindfolded and opened their eyes and didn't know where they were, that they would think they were in New York. And I think I hear that we've kind of achieved that, because it's just wide open industrial,
Well, yeah, Butler's
something you
in-
would not expect.
It's
in
an
the
older
middle of
town.
Butler.
Like
yeah.
the structure, the buildings, they all have the same aesthetic to them. So when I'm driving through Butler to meet you guys the first time, I drive past and I see it on the left, and I'm like, nah, that can't be like.
Right.
this is crazy. And like, I come around and park in the back there, and the first thing that I thought when I walked in was that it was like, I'm definitely not in Butler, PA. No disrespect to Butler. I mean, there's
Yeah.
got a lot of history there, but like, it's just, you're not expecting that,
At
like the
all.
giant glass windows and like,
Smooth as heck.
I think we should come probably record a podcast there at some point too.
For
but
sure.
With the sneaker wall.
yeah, the sneaker wall. Explain though, like, when you're looking and, what went into that decision to not only just move into that space, but buy the damn building and say, we're gonna move in here.
Wasn't it an old bank originally?
Used to be, yeah.
Okay.
Friendship Federal is what it's called. Someone actually, I still haven't figured out who it was. They dropped off the original, like the rendering of when, like the blueprint of whenever they built the building. And
Wow.
it's hanging up behind the register now.
Oh,
But yeah,
cool.
it used to be a bank. I wanted that building 2-3 years ago before we bought it. So someone bought it in like right in end of 2020. I asked my realtor then, I was like, hey, can we go see it? They're like, it's already sold. Came back up on the market. Guy was asking like 150 more than what he paid for it. Tanked the price like 125 by the time. And I was like, called my realtor. I was like, we got to get this building. So we
Yeah.
ended up paying less than what we would have paid for it 3 years ago.
Hey,
So everything just
timing.
ended up working out. Wasn't the right timing then, and ended up working out when we
That's
got
awesome.
it last April.
Love that. I love that.
What was the first thing you did in the new space?
Like renovation wise, or
Yeah.
So it used to be, so it was a bank and then it was an architect firm. So there was a bunch of offices, drop ceilings. They did all that work for us. It was like almost a clean slate right off
Wow.
the rip.
Really?
So yeah, there was like the first thing we probably did was, besides clean up, was there's these, if you go in there now, there's 2 white walls on the side, but they're stone. It's like pressed stone together. So like there's no insulation or anything. It's that slab of stone that's on the outside is also on the inside.
Mm.
So we just sprayed that white, got it cleaned up, and just and then we sprayed the ceiling black and added the industrial spiral HVAC and just started to put the vision together.
Nice.
I know that's cool, man. So I'm curious, where is Branded going next? I mean, you guys have multiple stores. You're doing thrifted. You have branded. Where's the next big thing? Like, I gotta know because I know you're moving on something. Yeah, you're kind.
I was told when we opened because it's been like one thing every year. So like September will be 5 years, and it's been like open the original store, open the warehouse the next year, open the Kent location the next year, bought a building the next year, and then if I want to stay married, I can't do anything for at least a year. So
That was, yeah, I remember that. And then we did the art show.
Yeah.
That was,
Yeah.
I know how you feel.
yeah. So
My wife does too.
Yeah. So we're not slowing down.
bless
We're
her.
just kind of concentrating a little bit more on what we have.
Well, he didn't mention that our sister store thrifted. So Brandon's all vintage, and our sister store thrifted is all newer name brand stuff. We just moved across the street into a bigger building also.
Another bank.
Another bank.
Yeah.
And so we're
He
also
loves
carrying
some
kids'
money.
clothes. Yeah.
Love
Kids'
buying a
clothes
bank.
now, way bigger space, so more
Kids' clothes.
inventory.
We gotta get, we gotta get in there. I got a little,
Little V.
VC3.
Yeah.
Get him some vintage.
You might find him something crazy.
Yeah.
What if you found like
Wanna
a
come check it
kid
out.
version of that?
I don't think they made that.
Nah, I don't think so either.
We
Yeah.
actually,
I've
I just
seen-
found
I-
a baby T
I think
Harley.
I've seen that shirt. Yeah.
Really?
Sold yesterday.
No
yeah.
way.
And you look
Yep.
at you doubting me.
Yeah.
No way, dude. So let's talk about this, okay?
Yeah.
Because we just had a moment before, and
Talk
this is
about it.
this is genuinely the like power. And I keep looking over and seeing Jesse in the booth. I don't think we have a camera on him today, but he's shaking his head over here like when I'm describing that feeling of like finding that item, and so I know he's experienced that too, as the guy that has created an empire on recycled materials and making them beautiful again on shoes.
Man.
But like we just experienced that feeling right out here. So you guys have been gracious enough. If you guys go back and watch previous episodes, you and I have been wearing stuff that you've gifted us from the store. And honestly, like we have no structure as of right now as to like how we want to partner. We just see that our brands are doing cool things, very positive in our small towns and in the city of Pittsburgh. So like, hey, let's just sit down and talk. And we go in there for that first time. I show up an hour late, and you guys give me like 2 really, really nice vintage shirts to wear on the show, and I wear them much more than just on the show. Like I don't just wear them on here. And so then you roll in today, and you have the shirts behind you, and the one I'm wearing, and you're showing me the Jurassic Park one, the Miami one, which I had seen pictures of. You hadn't sent me this one yet, but she texted me like last night, and she was like, "Hey, do you like Harley?" And and I was like, "Yeah, I have a Harley." And that was actually probably the first time that I ever said that in a text, because to me it doesn't even feel like mine still.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if we've ever talked about this on the
I
show
don't
at
think
all,
we
but
have.
like so everybody, we've talked several times about my relationship
Right.
with my dad, and like that growing up, and he passed away when I was like 24, and he's I just I have a great relationship with my dad, and he had a Harley his whole life, like, and so from a young age he would pick me up from school, and like he'd be on the Harley, and dude, to be able to get on the back of
That's
a Harley in like
Yeah, that's
fourth
sick.
grade
That's
and like
hard.
ride away, and like your crush is like looking at you, and they're getting on the school bus, and you're just like,
You had Lindy like
you
this?
know.
They're the deuce up.
No, Lindy was 2 years later. I said fourth grade, dude.
Oh, she was
not
sixth grade.
sixth. So,
My fault.
but yeah, like just flexing on your friends like that. My dad always had the sweetest bikes. Like he had a Sportster was the first bike he
Okay.
had, and then he got this Heritage Softail in like probably 2000. Well, I think it's an 03. And it was his baby, dude. Like he's swapped out all the stuff on it. It's all chrome. It's all like just custom, just beautiful bike. And like it's so loud too. Like when he would go through, he would like take pride in this. Like he'd go through like Elizabeth, this town we're from, in the mornings, and he would just rip this thing, and it would set off car alarms and like all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, I would absolutely hate you if I lived there. But it was so funny. Like when you just rev this thing up and these cars would start going crazy. So, I just watched my dad. He was just a badass, This shirt, though, he would wear this. I mean, this was his go-to shirt.
Wow.
Like when I
I
say,
didn't know that.
when I think of my dad, I think of him wearing this shirt. And so they're out here. She texted me last night. She's like, do you like, yesterday or last night, I don't know when this was, do you like Harley? I say, yeah, I actually have a Harley, because when my dad passed away, and I didn't say all this, I just said I have a Harley. And that was the first time I said those words like out loud. But, because I've been weird to claim it.
Right. I
But when he
understand that.
passed away, he left it to me.
Right.
And so, I've been like hesitant to even get my license, to be honest with you, because I don't know that I was ready to like
Right.
take that first ride. And so I have a Harley. They show up today, and she goes, and here's the Harley one, pulls this out. And when I tell you, dude, my goosebumps, like
Straight goosebumps.
you saw them, right?
Straight goosebumps, yeah. And you had a smile from ear to ear.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it just like, it just, I forgot this thing existed.
Man.
So like when you see something like that like it's like a piece of your brain just comes alive for the first time in forever. And so, that is the feeling. I know I'm like romanticizing this right now, but that's the power that for some reason our generation looks at clothing with that affection, because we tie like people to it. We tie stories to it, feelings and emotions to like it. That's why people love sports uniforms. That's
Right.
why people wear jerseys, because it reminds them of their favorite player when they went and sat in the stands for the first time.
Right.
So like, do you guys look at this as more than just clothing?
Oh yeah, for
For-
sure.
yeah,
It's
100%.
it's so cool to hear stories like that of, oh, my dad, this was my dad's shirt. I love hearing those stories when people were like, oh, I went to that tour, like I went to that Iron Maiden tour back in '87, and
Yeah.
tell you the whole story about how they could only afford a ticket because the shirts cost more than the tickets did back in the day. That's all they had money for.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's like the nostalgic factor of like the fashion to it. Like
Right.
I think really one of like the best parts of what we do is
Yeah.
hearing everybody's stories.
I think I love vintage so much because they're one of a kind, unique pieces. And you guys know me, I love to style people. And I think fashion is more of like expressing yourself and showing who you are. It brings a conversation. Like if you don't have a conversation with someone what you're wearing, usually someone compliments you, right? That's how you start conversations. And it's funny that you say that because we have a whole Harley rack. I was ripping through. I was like, what the heck am I going to get? I'm like, we have all these cool pieces. That was on a mannequin. I
Really?
walked by it and I just was like, this is so Vinny. Like, I just had a weird feeling. I was like, this would look so good on,
That's
good on
crazy.
him.
Mm.
Yeah, right?
So
and
you were
so,
there. I FaceTimed my mom when I got, literally
Yeah.
immediately just called my mom. I was like, put it on her. I was like, what do you think when you, she's like, that's dad. Like,
How do you
Lit-
feel right
yeah.
now?
great. You look
Like
great, dude.
it's really cool. I hope one
Yeah,
day that
I-
gets passed down to VC3.
Yeah, but I think I cut you off. You were,
Oh, no,
So,
you're good.
yeah.
No, that's one of the reasons. Like, I worked for Nordstrom for a while and styled people, and it's just like it brings people so much confidence of how they dress because you just feel more of yourself when you're stepping out of the house. You're more confident. You, like I said, you want to start a conversation, and when that happened, like I got goosebumps. You getting goosebumps because like that genuinely makes me happy because you're in your prime. Like you put that on, like that was your
Feels
dad's
great.
piece. Like
Yeah.
that's wild. Yeah. So just had a feeling when I walked by it.
yeah.
Can't explain it, but I was like, this is so Vinny. It would be great.
I feel like, and you said, I don't want to make this super spiritual
your
or whatever,
talk.
but like
Yeah.
you said you prayed for this opportunity, right?
100%.
And like I think people that are in tune with a higher power, when there's intuition like that and you can lean into it, that's when moments like this happen, where you walk past that mannequin, and if you are truly living in your gifting, which is your art form of fashion design, all that, then those moments happen. But if you're not leaning into that side of things and you're just really focused on like the day-to-day, gotta get a t-shirt for Vinny, just here's an XL, whatever.
Right.
Like if you're not really truly caring and like in tune with that, those, because the mannequin, taking it off the mannequin is more work.
That's,
So like
I felt so bad this whole week because I've been blowing your phone up, but like I want to get to know the person before I put clothes on you. I'm just not going to throw something on you. Like Trey, I put that boxing shirt on him because he loves boxing. Like your clothing should tell a story. Like
100%.
you should step out of the house ready to go for your day.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I'm
what's
glad that you
what's
love
the
it.
Mac Miller, is it like a video or is it a song lyric, whatever, but he talks about like just the power of like a t-shirt could like absolutely either make your day great or ruin it.
Yeah.
Is it a
Yeah.
I gotta look it up here. Maybe you ask him a question.
Okay, I'll ask him a question. So now that we're into this space, right? You're talking about telling stories with clothing, right? What is the most craziest story that you've gotten since you've been building, branded, and thrifted? Like, what's the craziest thing do you feel like you haven't told anybody yet that you've been waiting to say?
Do you have anything in the last 5 or 6 months while I think? Or
I
anything
haven't
that
even
I've
been
told
there 5
you?
months yet.
I was counting when you said March.
Yeah, March,
I feel like it's
think,
5 months.
Um,
Or anything that I've told you that.
it's just like moments like that. Like I had a girl come in, her mom used to work for the Olympics and like found an Olympic piece, and that's I actually got an idea to do an Olympic drop because of this lady. Found a perfect jacket, perfect condition. Her mom used to wear it around the house like all the time. She ended up like, got dingy, whatever, got rid of it, and it was for her birthday, and just got the jacket, and she literally had tears in her eyes. She's like, this is going to be the best gift I've ever given her. And it was simply a USA Olympic jacket. And she's like, this is literally my childhood. It's just like the nostalgia of when people come in. They're like he said, like, oh, I went to that tour, so this happened.
Yeah.
So you legit hear people's stories out of a piece of article of clothing. Like,
I found the thing I was looking for. So it's just like an old tweet from Mac Miller. It was August 2018. When did he pass away? 2019?
yeah.
Like, yeah. He said, always remember, picking the correct shirt can do unbelievable things for your day. Just like a tweet. But I remember it going viral at the time and being like, dude, there's so much truth in that. Like,
There is.
You pick out your outfit because of what you got going on that day. Like I dress differently when we have a podcast than when we have nothing but meetings all day or getting on a flight or whatever. So, having somebody in the store, for you, Lance, that you can trust her, that she's going to not just run the store, but she's actually like super passionate, about that. So talk a little bit about, your working relationship together of like, how did you know she was the store manager? How did you know that like she got the vision for it,
Yeah.
How'd you know?
she was the last one there, you know. No, I just whenever Jason was talking before, like I didn't even interview her. It was like a 2-hour conversation.
So what's
And you
that
just
conversation like? What
Just
was the
life.
thing?
It was
It was
legit,
just like
Okay.
Yeah, her past, my past, how the store got started, and you just have like that, you know, you have that vibe that just clicks. You know that someone is gonna fit in really well, and just seeing her, like you were there styling someone the other day, and like really being intimate with that person, and like you could tell like you boosted her confidence.
Oh yeah,
Like
she's never worn a skirt in
1,000%.
her life, and she bought like 5 skirts, and she's like, I found a new style, and that just
Yeah.
like that type of stuff just makes my day.
Yeah.
Like you know, like
Yeah, that's
it's
cool.
it's one of those feelings. You're like, okay, she's walking out of here. I probably like changed her whole confidence for the day. Like it's just one of those things that you're helping out someone for the day, so why not do it? You know?
Yeah. So just by seeing, like I said, we just vibed, I think, really well at the beginning, and then just seeing how she interacts with people and knowing, like, it's such a, I can't keep this whole thing up by myself.
Right.
Like, Jasa helps juggle the ball at Branded. Kelsey helps out at Kent. Like, I'm just trying to help them keep the ball rolling, and to know that you don't have to worry about, like, are things getting done at the stores?
Right.
Are things getting posted on social media? Like, it's a great feeling to know that you have a team that can support you and everyone's moving towards the same goal.
It's
So-
actually one of the things that I like. I didn't just pray for a job to be passionate about. You guys know this. I know you know this. You can only go so far as your teammates. Like, so in my prayers of like, hey, I want to do something that's passionate that I love to do every day, but like, you have to have the right people around you. And like, Lance is great with like any ideas we have. He's like, go for it, try it. We'll see how it works. If it flops, it flops. We'll try something else. Like, so he's really great of just like pretty much letting us, we run the idea by him. He's like, all right, I think that would be great. See how it works. And if it doesn't, then we all move forward and find something else.
So why do you guys want to partner with us? Like, what do you
That's a
see?
really good
Like, because we've had very brief conversations. Like, you were obviously, I was an hour late, like I keep referring to, but you were on your way out. So like we've just mostly talked through Jasa, but like, why do we seem like something you want to attach yourself to as well? Do you
I think again, just trusting, like you said, we haven't had much interaction together, but trusting that Jasa is a branch of the company, and putting that trust into her that if she thinks something's a good idea, we're going to roll with it.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Definitely appreciate that, just because, one, I've known Jason for a while now, but on top of that, brother, I have a company who's especially in fashion, right? I love the digs. I wear a lot of the shirts every day I can, especially my Mickey Mouse, but we ain't gonna talk about that. But
Oh, it's crazy.
It's crazy, bro. But with that said, though, man, for you to take a chance on us, I know it means a lot to me, but this man created this brand from literally his basement. So I can only imagine what it means for him, especially because you gave him a shirt that is literally a representation of his father,
Yes,
which
cool.
I'm super excited because I hope that shirt makes it to his son.
Yeah.
Because then at that point, right, like that's a family emblem. Like that's something that they can
Yeah.
actually take with them,
Trey,
right?
I hope you absolutely kick the shit out of somebody wearing that shirt.
Listen, one of these days, might be sooner than tomorrow, I promise you, especially doing sales. I ain't gonna lie to you. But with that said, man, I appreciate you guys believing in us for sure.
Yeah, so like let's wrap this up here with like I want to learn like why do you guys like what does being an entrepreneur mean to you? Like, is that something that was instilled in you in the military, or like you said you were always into buying and selling, but like, for those out there that want to take an alternative path with their life, maybe school is like, not what they see themselves doing after college or whatever. What would you say to them about leaning into, those things that they're passionate about?
Yeah. So again, like I would have never in 1,000 years when I was younger thought I would be running my own company. The military taught me is I didn't want to work for somebody else. That was a big thing. And then also starting a company was more about like finding a family. Like that's like I had a brotherhood in the Marine Corps, and then like finding similarities and with people that then I like part of the team. But if I had to give a word of advice, is just kind of like follow your passion, but kind of learn the business side of things. You can only take your passion so far until you have to start figuring out how to do the marketing side of things and the accounting side of things.
What do you think was like your biggest hurdle that you had to get over in this journey so far with the store?
I was going to ask that question.
Oh,
That's a good question.
I don't know. Depends on.
Could be business, could be personal. For me, growing this, the biggest hurdle that I had to get over was figuring out how to work with a team.
Yeah.
Like I've just always relied on myself.
Yeah.
You know, I've never needed, obviously I had deadlines to meet with clients, but like other than that, like didn't matter if I did it by 5 p.m. or 3 a.m. because I'm doing it. Like when you have a team,
Right.
they need something by 5 p.m. so that they can do their part at 3 a.m. And so like that has caused me to like create massive structure in my life, which has been very uncomfortable from somebody who likes to literally show up, throw paint on a canvas, and then sit there and watch it dry like this. Like, so like, yourself, I know in the military, you probably learned the structure and the discipline. Has that translated over into the business as well? Or
Yeah, like you said, like just because everyone's like, oh, you have 10 employees, 15 employees, your life must be so easy. But it's the complete. You add people, you got more responsibility. You got another person that you're responsible for. Like I see them as always not my kids, but like they're my responsibility. So like you got like you said, you got if you've got someone coming in the next day, well, you got to make sure you're one step ahead, making sure that you set them up for success.
Yeah.
And that they know what to do.
That's what he really said, family, and that's like pretty much what we all are. Like it's crazy how all close we are. Like it's every idea that pops into our head, we're all going back and forth with each other. Like it's really about communication and then we have fun with it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we're running a business, so
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, I love it. I love the vibe of like, people that come together to do something that, you could be successful on your own. You could be successful on your own. And like what we're doing here, like we're trying to partner up with like, not only in our internal, but like we have, our clients that we're partnering with. And now we launched like a few other shows out of here. And so like, I'm grateful that because I feel like we're being genuine, people are reciprocating that and they're like, also bringing their genuine selves. And so I appreciate you guys reaching out and I'm excited to figure out what this looks like moving forward, whether it's just us rocking some gear on the show or whatever.
You want to go over the shirts a little bit so we can show off, because I want to show ours off
let's
too.
do it do it.
Cool. Vinny, you go. If you want to look, there should be a little copyright. It's like small print. It will actually say the year. I think that one has it.
It's most Harley tees.
This one just has the restricted logo by the Harley. I don't think it has a date on it though.
Mine says right here, 1997.
Yeah. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong spot, but yeah, I mean, dude, I've raved about my shirt. So
Yeah.
like,
Trey, stand up. Show yours.
show your shirt, dude.
Okay. So this piece right here is more expensive than my mortgage. So this right here, Oscar De La Hoya, back September 13th, 1997. If you don't know, now you know. One of the best Mexican boxers to ever fight, ever. Me personally, I'm a big boxing fan, as was stated before. But this shirt alone, right? This fight, right? This was part of the time. I think this was right before his championship fight, I believe. It was right before his championship fight, bro. So, like, this fight, this shirt overall in general, like, it just represents a different time in boxing. Because during this time, bro, we didn't have social media. So whatever was on the TV and was the most watched was getting watched. What's craziest about sports is most people think football was always the number one sport. Before that, it was baseball and boxing. So this has become one of my favorite things. So I appreciate the boxing love because I love Oscar De La Hoya, even though I hate him now, but I loved him when he fought. So, like, I do appreciate the love.
Got you.
What y'all got on? I see the Nirvana. I see the Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I
Do you want
mean,
me to
come
stand
on.
up?
So Trey's T-shirt is a $375 T-shirt. Vinny has a $75 Harley tee on.
This is the most expensive shirt that I've ever sold. So we sold one. This one's ripped, torn. It's falling apart. So we sold this shirt for $1,500 to a guy in New York. He had this one that I'm wearing now that we kind of took some money off and he traded back to us. So yeah, it's worth. I mean, it's a little tattered. Some people like the thrash look, so it's somewhere between $1,200, $1,500.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to retire it soon, though. I heard it rip as I put it on this morning. So
It's a little risky. I can't even believe we put it on. I got a 1990 Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm a sports girl, so I'm always wearing sports because, like I said, let's strike up a conversation about sports. But the old school Pirates logo is my favorite, and then the all over print. You can't go wrong with an all over print. So you got the back too. So this is one of my faves. This one's $150. Yeah. So on our high price T wall in the store. So come check it out.
Yeah, if somebody's watching this, they're not from Butler or Pittsburgh. Do you have a website that they could go to?
We do. BrandedInButler.com. Everything is on there. We're trying to get all of our.
Trying to get all of it on
We
there
have
and
so
start
much
doing
inventory.
drops.
Yeah, we started drops on Thursdays. So our last drop was NASCAR racing. We just dropped that yesterday. What's our next one? Television entertainment. So that would be like
Mickey.
Mickey,
some Mickey
Looney
for ya.
Tunes, Disney. That's Trey's avenue. So we got that, and then week after,
Women's, and then it'll be Steelers preseason. So we got a big, probably 300-400 piece Pittsburgh drop
crazy.
coming up.
Yeah,
So-
I need that.
So how do they follow along? Just on social media you'll drop that, or like
both.
is there like a
Yeah,
mailing list or something that you have too? Or
we have that too.
Yeah, we got, if you go on the website, there's text message signups, stuff like that. Special deals and everything going on all the time.
nice.
Love that.
I'm excited, man. So yeah, let's keep the conversation going. Let's let's figure out how we can partner, help you guys get your story out there a little more. I feel like we just scratched the surface with you, man. To be honest with you.
I was going to go into something a little deeper that I think I'm just a little too, it would probably be waterworks. So maybe for a different time.
All right.
I mean, unless you want to go.
That sounds
like like I
I
Could I do
don't
that?
know if I could hold it together.
He still has that
Yeah.
marine in him where
Yeah.
he has a wall up. It takes a little bit.
All right.
but
Well,
All right.
listen, we're gonna come back for a part 2 with you guys. Maybe we'll
Yeah.
go to the store. to
Yeah,
do
that'd
part
be
2,
awesome.
we love that.
and we're gonna
yeah.
dive deep into your story.
Okay.
And those
Um,
tears are gonna happen.
yeah.
So get ready.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
cry 'em with you, dude. There's no
No
shame
shame.
over here for sure.
No shame.
So appreciate you guys coming on, man. If you guys have been watching, make sure you go to their page, check them out, show them some love. Cop something. There's things on there. We joke about these high end. 75 is not really bad at all, honestly. But there's things for all price ranges. So you want to get a quick T-shirt, like we went in there, and they have racks for everything. So go check them out online, and they're doing some really cool things. Stop by in store. Tell them Trey and Vinny sent you, and we appreciate you guys being here. So we always sign off at the end. We say this is Athletic Aesthetic, and then our guests will look at the camera and say, "And we love you." Do you guys think you can handle that?
Yeah.
You can handle it.
All right, cool. Well, thank you guys for being here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Follow us on social media at Athletic Aesthetic Pod. And find our personal channels on there too. Say what up. Let us know who we should be interviewing on the show. Let us know what you'd like to see. We have some really, really big announcements for the football season coming up.
Cannot wait.
As far as some of the content we're going to be doing here on the show. So excited for that. Stay tuned for that. Appreciate you guys being here. This is
Athletic Aesthetic.
And we love you.
Boom. Out. You did it twice on this episode, dude.